Hey there, Bracy here. So I know that thanks to this color behind me, the white balance has been going off the charts wonky. I mean, for anybody who watches this and is like somewhat a filmmaker, somewhat has an eye for the camera, they can recognize how the white balance is just kind of going through this hue cycle, and it might be driving you out of control if you are one of those who have actually stuck with any video long enough to be able to gain this perception. And to you, I say, I am sorry, but I'm not really working on that right now. And I will at some point, but I just don't have the resources to allocate to that. I think you can understand that. Resources are what we have. It's as John Carmack put it, it's about economics. Economics is about resource management. We only have a certain amount of resources, and what we can allocate those resources to really shows what our priorities are. And right now, my priority is not, it's not the white balance. It's not the image. It's the actual content. It's actually getting out what I'm trying to say, actually communicating to this camera, and via this camera, the video, and via that video, the community that I can reach. Eventually, ultimately, I don't believe that who I'm speaking to will actually receive any of this information until years down the line, because I think the value of what I'm doing now is only going to layer itself. It's not the compounded interest. Well, like it's gonna grow with just time, and the more things that I work towards, and the more things that I accomplish, or I accomplish with the company, or I accomplish with the family, or I accomplish with whatever community I tie myself into, corporate side, whatever. Kind of as a guide into my mind as I was doing whatever it is I'm doing. And I say that because I don't fully know all the choices I'm going to make, but I think it would be useful either for another human being or for a machine learning algorithm to see what the state of mind I was in order to make the decisions I made that ultimately allowed me to achieve whatever thing I was able to achieve. Or it's the exact reverse. Like, I'm a complete failure. I could be a complete failure, and ultimately this record would serve as a means to understand why I failed and what was the context in which I failed. The information that I'm able to espouse via this video, tied to the date, tied to the time and the context, and understanding all this stuff, just gives us more insight as to who we are collectively. And I think that's ultimately the value of all creators that are willing to take the time to make a record of what it is that they're doing. And it starts as small as somebody just keeping a journal. And as we've learned, especially in Western culture, talking about the diary of Anne Frank, how that diary allowed us to tap into a reservoir of information that was just so huge. It gave us insight into not just who Anne Frank was, not just to the conditions, like getting a better sense of the conditions and the environment she was in, but giving us a better insight, more insight into ourselves, more insight into what a human being in these conditions are, and that, like, we're just human. We have all the same kind of concerns. If we can talk freely, openly, transparently, ultimately we'll just see that we're all kind of very similar. Yeah. Don't ask me what got me off on that kick. I think ultimately it comes from the fact that I had wine tonight, and as the old adage goes, with wine there's truth, and I'm looking to be truthful. I'm looking to tap into the truth of of who I am, of what I am, where I am, what I'm doing. It's the journey that I found myself on. I think anybody who's known me for a while would know that I'm generally an optimistic person. Like I believe that good things are possible, especially if we can work together to achieve them, that that the things that we think of as the stuff that dreams are made of are actually within reach. They're within our capability of making come true. Sometimes that maybe sets me off on a path that is too idealistic, too ambitious. But ultimately, I believe that falling short is worth it. It's better than not trying at all, not aiming for that goal. I feel naturally I came to this state. I don't know why, but naturally I came to the state that the idea of not even trying to achieve the thing that I believe is my dream is such a far worse thing in the end. Even if I look ridiculous failing on the path there, even if I take on way more than I can handle, the idea that I would stop myself before I even tried, it's horrendous. Like of all the things, think about it through this scenario. You're an astronaut. You landed on some alien planet, and you're so afraid to move from where you're at that you die in your ship, not realizing that just over that sand dune that you would have walked over if you just moved forward is an alien race that would have given you the best experience. Not only like opened your world, your eyes up to how beautiful the galaxy is, but also just been able to like take you right back to your planet with no problem. Like that idea that not even trying, that not trying is actually somehow a potentially better option than trying is blows my mind. I can't handle it. I can't do it. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there because, like I said, there's a little wine in the system. I'm a little well, actually, honestly, I want to spend more time with the family. The kids are going to sleep. I get to enjoy time with the wife, and sometimes these are the type of nights that really they make everything worth it. So with that, I will say stay conscious,